They don't scream and they don't beg, they simply let them go. But it's not out of weakness, it's out of wisdom. Emotionally strong men understand that when a woman decides to leave, forcibly holding on to her only destroys whatever respect might still be left. In silence, they show that they have already learned a valuable lesson. There is no need to fight battles that cost your own peace. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Why emotionally strong men let women walk away. It's not about indifference, it's about clarity. They know that freedom is the only real proof of who genuinely wants to stay, and that insistence never generates admiration. This attitude might seem tough, but it's strategic, it's applied psychology of the heart. So, if you've ever wondered why some men don't chase, don't beg, yet still maintain respect and value, stay with me until the end. Because in this video, I'm going to reveal the hidden reasons that explain this behavior, and how this quiet stance can completely transform how you see yourself and your relationships.
Before we continue, I need to tell you something. This video only reached you because someone liked it and subscribed to our channel. Now it's your turn to do the same. Leave a like, subscribe, and hit the bell, so this chain of knowledge keeps growing and reaching more people. Also, comment down below which city you're watching from, because I want to know how far this video is traveling. Now, no more delays, let's get to the good stuff.
First reason, because they understand that the one who comes back different, but they have changed, too. Emotionally strong men see that time never returns anything the same as what it took away. When a woman leaves and then decides to return, she doesn't just carry the memory of what they lived, but also the lessons, experiences, and even the wounds she accumulated in that interval. This changes how she looks at the man, and it also changes how she sees herself within the relationship. But the key point is that, in that same time, he has also evolved, grown, and transformed. He is not the same man she left, and so there is no way to relive the story in the same key. This understanding gives them a strategic advantage. They don't allow themselves to be seduced by the false promise that everything can go back to how it was before. They know that insisting on that kind of return is like trying to wear clothes that no longer fit. It might fit for a few moments, but the feeling of discomfort quickly appears. Experience has taught these men that attachment to the past is an invisible prison, and that nostalgia often conceals pains that should have already been overcome. Therefore, instead of giving up their own evolution to relive something old, they prefer to preserve their integrity and move forward. Strong men don't reject the possibility of reunions, but they never go into them blindly. They know that the one who returns often brings with them not only regret, but also doubts, insecurities, and even interests that have nothing to do with true love. When they realize this, they choose to evaluate with coolness and maturity, avoiding the repetition of cycles that would only lead to more emotional drain. This critical view is not a lack of feeling. It is self-preservation. Deep down, they carry a powerful certainty. Life doesn't move backward. If someone returns, they find a different man, more conscious and more demanding of himself. And if that return is not aligned with his new version, there simply won't be space. Because for the emotionally strong man, it makes no sense to regress on a road where every step costs so much effort, pain, and learning. He knows his evolution has value, and he won't trade it for a story that already showed where it ends. Second reason, they already know that insistence does not generate respect. Emotionally strong men understand that when they have to beg to be heard or accepted, they have already lost something essential: dignity. They don't believe that raising their voice, insisting with messages, or chasing after someone who decided to leave will reignite the flame of a relationship. On the contrary, they know that the more effort you put into holding on to someone who wants to leave, the faster you destroy admiration. Insistence might keep someone around for a few moments, but it never sparks genuine respect. This type of man has already learned that true value is not in conquering through persistence, but in maintaining a presence that speaks for itself. They know that when a woman realizes she doesn't have to beg to be heard, she looks at this man with different eyes. The confidence and serenity of someone who does not descend into desperation transmit a much more powerful message than any plea. It is as if his silence says, "I know who I am, and I don't need to beg for you to know it too." Men like this prefer to be remembered for their firm stance rather than the humiliation of resultless insistence. They know that those who insist too much run the risk of becoming an emotional doormat, someone who will always be available, regardless of how they are treated. And that, to them, is unacceptable. Respect is born from free choice, never from pressure or repeated requests. Therefore, instead of wasting energy trying to prove their own worth, they withdraw and let time reveal who truly deserves to be by their side. They know that true attraction is not born from desperation, but from the absence of someone who doesn't need to beg to be wanted. And it is precisely this serenity that makes them different men. The more they refuse to insist, the clearer they make it that respect is not negotiated, it is earned. Third reason, they don't hold anyone against their will. Emotionally strong men understand that love is not a prison, it is a daily choice. For them, holding on to someone who doesn't want to stay is wasting energy and harming their own dignity. They know that maintaining a relationship based on constraints, blackmail, or manipulation does not create a true bond, it only prolongs the inevitable. Therefore, when they realize a woman no longer wants to be there, they don't create resistance, they simply make space for her to go her way. This posture might seem cold to outside observers, but it is, in fact, an act of maturity. These men have already understood that forced presence does not bring happiness. There is no pleasure in sharing life with someone who only stays out of obligation or convenience. They value authenticity, and therefore prefer to deal with the pain of a sincere departure than the lie of an empty presence. The weight of coexisting without desire only wears down and corrodes the essence of both. The great truth is that these men see freedom as a natural filter. They believe that if someone truly wants to be with them, they will stay of their own accord, without the need for pressure. And this is where their emotional strength is evident. They don't try to control, they don't create invisible chains, and they don't use the fear of loneliness as an excuse to hold someone. They let go because they understand that freedom always reveals the truth of intentions. Ultimately, this attitude shows the confidence they have in themselves. Emotionally strong men know they don't need to hold anyone to be valued. They trust that the person who truly sees the value they carry will choose to stay without needing to be convinced. And if someone leaves, it is not seen as a loss, but as clarity. Just someone who is not willing to contribute to their journey. Fourth reason, they know that freedom reveals who truly wants to stay. Emotionally strong men see freedom as the biggest test of authenticity within a relationship. For them, there is no point in trying to trap someone with control, blackmail, or manipulation, because the truth always surfaces when the choice is free. When they let a woman go, it's not disinterest, it's the confidence that whoever truly wants to be by their side doesn't need chains. Freedom, in this sense, works like a mirror that shows real intentions. This view doesn't come from theory, but from experience. These men have already realized that when someone has the space to choose, the decisions become much more revealing. A woman who stays willingly demonstrates respect, affection, and genuine desire. Conversely, the one who leaves only confirms that the same commitment was never there on the other side. Thus, they prefer to know the truth early, even if it hurts, than to live a relationship sustained by fear or obligation. This trust in freedom also reflects the security they carry within themselves. They don't fear being forgotten, they don't panic at the idea of being alone, because they know their value doesn't depend on anyone's validation. On the contrary, they understand that giving freedom strengthens true bonds and eliminates fragile relationships. This mindset makes them more selective and better prepared to build ties that truly have substance. Ultimately, this reason reveals the secret that many cannot accept. Nobody loses when they give freedom, they only discover who is truly willing to stay. For emotionally strong men, this filter is indispensable. They don't want half presents or empty promises, they prefer the silence of a sincere goodbye to the illusion of a love that only exists by lack of option. Fifth reason, they don't compete for attention with anyone. Emotionally strong men know exactly the value they carry, and that is why they never enter into invisible competitions for attention. They understand that if they need to compete for space in someone's life, it's already a clear sign that they are not being truly chosen. Instead of putting themselves in second place or accepting crumbs of presents, they prefer to withdraw and keep their own dignity intact. For these men, love is not a podium, and anyone who has to fight to be seen has already lost something essential: self-respect. This posture might seem harsh, but it is profoundly strategic. They know that the more someone realizes they are being competed for, the more they tend to manipulate the situation to feed their own ego. To enter this game would be to lower themselves, and that is very far from the mindset of a man who has already understood his worth. The energy others would spend trying to prove they are deserving, they invest in themselves, in growing, in evolving, because they know that true attention is not begged for, it is earned naturally. Furthermore, they understand that competing for attention creates a toxic dynamic, where love ceases to be a voluntary encounter and becomes a race for validation. They don't want to be remembered only when the other person misses them or needs to fill a momentary void. If their presence is not enough for someone to choose to stay fully, they prefer to open space for life to continue without constraints. After all, healthy love is reciprocal priority, not a disputed trophy. Ultimately, this choice is a reflection of the confidence they carry. Whoever recognizes their value will never agree to place themselves on a battlefield for someone's gaze or time. Emotionally strong men know they don't need to compete with anyone, because they understand that what is true doesn't require competition. And if a woman cannot see that, they let her go, not out of indifference, but out of respect for their own worth. Sixth reason, because they believe that the one who loves chooses to stay. Emotionally strong men understand that true love is never imposed, demanded, or forced. They know that no one who truly feels affection and respect for the other will need manipulations, games, or pleas to remain by their side. For them, love is manifested by the conscious choice to be together, not by the fear of losing or the obligation not to leave. This perception frees them from draining relationships and keeps them firm in their own emotional integrity. This awareness means they don't waste energy trying to convince someone to stay. They have already learned that trying to hold onto someone who wants to leave is a dead-end road that only generates frustration and resentment. Instead, they prefer to invest in those who show spontaneous reciprocity and genuine interest, valuing every gesture of true presence. For these men, every choice to stay is a real reflection of the bond, not a concession out of convenience. They also understand that this principle creates healthier and more balanced relationships. When both choose to stay, there is room for growth, dialogue, and deep connection, without the pressure of having to prove love at every moment. Reciprocity becomes natural, and the bond is strengthened by will, not by need. Strong men don't confuse attachment with love. They know that only genuine commitment ensures lasting relationships. Ultimately, this stance reveals confidence and self-worth. They don't fear losing, because they know that the one who truly loves always returns or stays. This understanding eliminates drama, insecurity, and pointless demands, and transforms the relationship dynamic. Instead of fighting to hold on to someone, they cultivate bonds where the choice to be together is free, conscious, and true. Seventh reason, because they don't want to beg for presence. Emotionally strong men understand that begging someone to stay or give attention is diminishing their own importance. They have already gone through experiences where they put themselves second, trying to fill emotional gaps for someone who is not willing to truly commit. Therefore, they learned that presence must be natural, spontaneous, the result of genuine desire, and not the result of pleas or manipulations. This posture shows maturity and self-confidence. They know that whoever values their company will seek it out, and whoever is not willing to do so reveals their true priorities. As painful as it is to watch someone drift away, they understand that the effort to keep someone who doesn't want to be present is an unnecessary drain that erodes self-esteem and self-respect. Emotionally strong men prefer to invest their time and energy in balanced relationships, where there is reciprocity and voluntary presence. They understand that begging for attention creates a toxic dynamic, where the bond is sustained only by need or fear of loss. This clarity protects them from fragile and illusory relationships. Ultimately, this choice is a demonstration of self-love. They don't confuse commitment with submission, nor presence with obligation. By keeping a distance from those who don't want to be there, they reinforce their value and create space for genuine connections to flourish. They know that the one who truly wants to remain will do so without them having to ask or beg. Eighth reason, because they know that control is not love. Emotionally strong men understand that trying to control a woman never creates a true bond. It only generates resistance and emotional drain. They have already realized that pressure, excessive jealousy, or attempts at manipulation only push away the one who might otherwise stay willingly. For them, genuine love is freedom, choice, and mutual respect, never imposition. This posture demonstrates maturity and deep understanding of relationships. They know that the desire to control arises from the fear of loss, and that this fear does not build trust, but destroys attraction. Therefore, they prefer to step back and allow each person to go their own way, knowing that whoever truly wants to stay will do so without them needing to exert power or authority over the other person. Strong men also understand that illusory control creates fragile bonds, based on dependence and insecurity. They don't want to be with someone who stays out of obligation or fear of losing, because they know that does not generate happiness or true respect. Love for them needs to be light, free, and reciprocal, not an emotional prison disguised as affection. Ultimately, this stance reveals confidence and inner security. They don't feel the need to dominate or force anyone to stay, because they understand that the one who truly loves chooses to be present without impositions. And it is precisely this freedom that differentiates genuine love from illusion. The one who stays willingly strengthens the relationship, while the one who leaves without control shows where their heart truly was. Ninth reason, they respect a woman's right to choose. Emotionally strong men understand that each person has autonomy over their decisions and feelings. They know that trying to force or pressure someone to remain by their side is disrespecting not only the other person, but also themselves. For them, love and respect go hand in hand. There is no room for manipulation when the freedom of the other is valued. This posture demonstrates emotional maturity and clarity of values. They understand that whoever chooses to stay must do so willingly, not out of guilt or obligation. By accepting that each individual has the right to decide their path, they strengthen their own value and create relationships based on authenticity and trust, not on impositions or fears. Strong men know that free choice reveals true intentions. When a woman stays by their side without pressure, it means there is genuine desire and real commitment. This understanding allows them to avoid unnecessary frustrations and focus energy on relationships that truly have the potential for growth and reciprocity. Ultimately, respecting the freedom of choice is an act of emotional intelligence. They don't fear losing the one who decides to leave, because they know that the one who truly wants to be together will do so with an open heart. This posture is not a lack of feeling, but a demonstration of respect, self-confidence, and the capacity to build solid and true bonds. 10th reason, because they believe that life is made up of cycles. Emotionally strong men understand that everything in life follows a natural rhythm, and that relationships also have their cycles. They know that some stories begin, flourish, and, at a certain point, need to end so that new experiences and lessons can emerge. This perception helps them not to cling to what no longer serves them, allowing each phase to fulfill its purpose without unnecessary suffering. This awareness frees them from trying to control the time or the decisions of the other person. They understand that insisting on maintaining something that is already in transition only creates resistance and pain. By accepting that cycles end naturally, they are able to handle departures without drama, viewing each end as an opportunity for growth and renewal. Strong men also know that recognizing life cycles is a form of self-respect and respect for the other. They don't try to force permanence or prolong draining situations. They understand that every ending or distancing carries essential lessons, and that the right time will reveal who truly deserves to continue in their life. Ultimately, this posture demonstrates wisdom and emotional maturity. They don't cling to past stories, nor do they live with regrets. By understanding that everything has a cycle, they manage to value the present, learn from the past, and remain open to genuine relationships that are aligned with the one who truly desires to be by their side. 11th reason, because they prefer the hard truth to the comfortable illusion. Emotionally strong men understand that living in illusions can be more painful in the long run than facing reality head-on. They know it's tempting to believe in empty promises or confusing signs of interest, but choosing the truth, even if it's hard, ensures clarity and avoids prolonged suffering. For them, confronting reality is an act of courage and self-love. This posture is reflected in all their relationships. They are not satisfied with subtle lies or ambiguous behaviors that only prolong uncertainty. They prefer to accept the departure of someone who is unwilling to commit, rather than live the illusion of a bond that was never genuine. This clarity allows them to make conscious decisions and maintain emotional balance, without being fooled by the passing comfort of false hopes. Strong men understand that truth reveals intentions, values, and real feelings. When someone leaves, even if it hurts, they see beyond the immediate pain. They know that that departure brought answers that empty words would never have given. This posture makes them selective and strategic, preventing them from getting attached to relationships that don't deserve their time and dedication. Ultimately, opting for the truth is a form of respect, for themselves and for the other. They don't live by appearances or accept bonds based on convenience. By choosing to face reality, they ensure more authentic, deep, and aligned relationships with the one who truly wants to be present sincerely. 12th reason, because they understand that freedom is a test of reciprocity. Emotionally strong men know that giving space is not a sign of disinterest, but a way to reveal who truly wants to be present. They understand that genuine love is manifested through conscious choice, and that the one who genuinely cares will never run away from the connection when freedom is offered. This silent test functions as a natural filter that separates those who stay willingly from those who are merely taking advantage of the situation. This view protects them from unbalanced relationships. They know that when someone remains even without impositions, there is true reciprocity, genuine interest, and respect for the bond. Conversely, the one who pulls away in the face of freedom shows where their commitment and intention truly were. Strong men use this strategy to invest energy only in relationships that genuinely have the potential for mutual growth. Giving freedom also shows maturity and confidence. They don't need to control, demand, or create drama to measure affection. The free choice reveals more than words could say, showing behaviors and attitudes that reflect the real value of the relationship. It's a way to observe without interfering, to understand without suffocating, to protect one's own emotional peace while testing the authenticity of the other. Ultimately, understanding freedom as a test of reciprocity is a reflection of self-worth and emotional intelligence. Strong men don't panic over temporary departures, because they know that the one who truly wants to stay will do so with an open heart. This principle ensures more balanced, sincere relationships that are aligned with the one who truly wants to share life with them. 13th reason, because they know that life demands choices. Emotionally strong men understand that every decision carries consequences, and that staying or leaving is always a conscious choice. They don't live at the mercy of chance or the actions of others. They know that taking responsibility for their feelings and relationships is part of their emotional maturity. Therefore, when a woman decides to leave, they respect the decision without trying to manipulate or blame, understanding that life always presents clear paths for those who have the courage to decide. This perception makes them strategic and secure. They are not carried away by the fear of loneliness or the desire to please at all costs. They know that each choice reveals priorities and values, both in their own life and in the lives of those around them. Thus, they don't waste time with those who don't show commitment, directing their energy toward relationships that truly matter and make sense. Strong men understand that demanding presence or feeling does not generate true love. They know that insisting on keeping someone who doesn't want to stay only creates fragile bonds, full of tension and resentment. By accepting that life demands choices, they remain firm in their principles, preserving their emotional peace and encouraging relationships based on responsibility, respect, and reciprocity. Ultimately, this posture demonstrates awareness and autonomy. They don't fear the consequences of difficult choices, because they understand that every decision, no matter how painful it seems, is part of growth and personal evolution. For them, letting someone go is not a loss, but clarity, a reflection that life rewards those who have the courage to respect both themselves and the freedom of the other. 14th reason, because they don't fear being forgotten. Emotionally strong men understand that their presence does not depend on being constantly remembered or validated by others. They know that trying to forcibly remain in someone's memory is futile and, often, counterproductive. True value is not measured by how much someone remembers you, but by the genuine impact you make and the consistency of your own life. This posture reflects security and self-confidence. They are not worried about competing for attention or recognition, because they know that the one who truly values their presence will make a point of maintaining connection naturally. Not fearing being forgotten is, in practice, recognizing that one's own identity and path have priority over external expectations or conditional affection. Furthermore, this understanding protects them from toxic and draining relationships. Strong men don't cling to memories or illusions of importance. They accept that life moves on and that some people enter and exit paths naturally. By freeing themselves from the fear of being forgotten, they manage to maintain emotional balance and focus on those who truly deserve their attention and dedication. Ultimately, not fearing being forgotten is a reflection of emotional maturity. They know that their value doesn't diminish with the absence of others, and that genuine relationships will always leave deep marks. For them, being remembered is not an obligation, but the natural consequence *** of someone who lives with authenticity, purpose, and respect for themselves and the other. 15th reason, because they know that the one who truly wants to, never leaves. Emotionally strong men understand that true love is not measured by speeches, promises, or momentary gestures, but by the consistency of presence. The one who truly feels, stays. They know there is no need for games, manipulations, or pressure to keep someone by their side. Genuine desire is the clearest proof of interest and commitment. This understanding brings a unique serenity. They don't panic over departures or momentary silences, because they are clear that the one who intends to stay will do so naturally, without them needing to beg or convince. This posture avoids emotional drain and allows them to focus on true relationships, based on reciprocity and mutual respect. Strong men don't confuse temporary absence with definitive loss. They know that departures can happen for countless reasons, but when there is a real desire to remain, the presence stays firm, consistent, and voluntary. This security prevents them from clinging to illusions or trying to hold onto someone who is not willing to truly commit. Ultimately, this certainty transforms how they live their relationships. They don't need to prove their worth or demand attention, because they understand that true love is manifested naturally in the choice to be together. The one who leaves willingly reveals their priorities, while the one who remains confirms that they genuinely want to share life with them. If this video made a difference to you, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Every video we create here is thoughtfully designed, always with the goal of helping you develop and conquer your best version. We want to share practical and direct tips that truly impact your life positively. So, don't waste time and comment the word gratitude and the phrase searching for my best version, M busca de minha melhor verso, below. With this, the algorithm will take this video to even more men who are looking for growth. Your engagement in the comments is essential for our content to reach those who need these tips the most. Furthermore, your support with the like and subscription to the channel strengthens our work and motivates us to continue creating valuable content for your journey. The more you interact, the more men will also have access to this type of information, which only helps our mission to transform lives. So, thank you for being with us on this journey. Stay tuned for the next videos, because we are always bringing new things to help you evolve. Big hug, and until the next video.